Well, we made it to hump day. Good to have everyone here. We already got folks in the chat. How's it going, mentors? Uh, yeah, that's great, man. Been watching your streams yet. Finally able to hang out tonight. That's good, man. I'm glad. I hope you're doing well. It's warmed up, which is good. In fact, the AC kicked on today. Heat 2 days ago, AC today. That's Florida for you, and this time of year. But yeah, I've been workbooking, man. I've been making some progress on the workbook. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm trying to sort of set a pace. There's Casadix, sir, man. How are you doing tonight? 80s for the high. Hell yeah. I love it. Yeah, so I have been making good progress on the workbook. I'm trying to be conscientious of pace because, as I went over yesterday, there's so much to cover. And right now, even at the best pace, I'm looking at June, probably end of June before I finish this, before I get to the advanced foundation labs, which is okay, but I need to keep a good solid pace. So I will say that with multicast, I spent a lot of time on dense and sparse, just learning the trees, just learning RPF checks, and just learning some of that. And that is paying off, though, because like today I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 3 labs this morning. I have 2 lab times now. I'm not streaming the entirety, but now that I'm getting up earlier in the mornings, I have more time before work to study. So I'm kind of splitting up my lab time now. I'm trying to get in about 3 hours a day, and I'm on pace for about 3 hours a day for labbing. So mentors, yeah, it took a while with our workbook foundation before I hit the full scale labs as well. Yeah, the foundation look intimidating in and of themselves. So I'm thinking, there's 3, 3, 3, and 2. But yeah, these are going to be monumental. So this will be good because hopefully this will take me, I'm tentatively saying December, but hopefully before then. But this, if I get to the summer and I could start hitting these advanced labs, that'll give you several months just to start to really hustle on my speed. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. But yeah, I'm picking up pace now, and now that I kind of, I'm really better understanding the principles, and I took a little extra time to do that. So, well, basically what's happening is in the mornings, after gym, shower, get some coffee, and then I start studying / labbing. And I'll do that a couple hours. I will tend to do workbook, these labs then. Then, if I need to, I will jump to a networklessons.com lab if I'm getting stuck on a principle. And I did that once today on the, I think it was the accept register. So, usually if I get stuck on something, right now, INE is like to go fast because they do jump through topics pretty quickly. But if I have to slow down to get better comprehension, I'll switch to Network Lessons. And Network Lessons actually has more PIM, it has about the same number of PIM lessons. Definitely plan about 8 hours for the full-scale lab so you can grade and deep dive your weak areas. I spent about 12 hours a day on the last leg before the exam. Good to know that, mentors. I noticed too, Tony, when he was doing those on his stream, he would do like all day just to work on one of the full-scale labs. Good stuff. So yeah, I'll do that, and then at lunch, what I'll do is while I'm preparing a meal, I will listen to videos, the INE videos. So I've been going through those as well. I went to the video today on BSR. So, and then of course at night after work, I'll try to get in at least one good lab before getting ready for Betty Bye. So today, this is just work related, but it is interesting. One of our team members is, one of our cloud automation team members is on PTO, like an extended PTO, and we're kind of short right now. So I picked up a task related to Linux, and it's kind of cool because it's helping me sort of refresh some of my Linux skills. I haven't played with Linux in a long time, and I had a pernicious problem. I've actually been battling it for 2 days, and today I finally got sort of a breakthrough at the end of the day, but had to do with like using Ansible to install Linux, install packages and repos on Linux servers. And this one repo I kept getting hung up on, only to find out eventually it's a Fedora related repo for like an older version of OS that I'm working with, that the repo is actually not there. I mean, the repository is there, but the package is not there. Like I kept getting a 400, error on the Ansible playbook, and it hit that package. You get through all the other packages, and it tried to install that package. Like we'd provision a Linux VM in Azure, and then Ansible would go behind it and install packages that we need to have on there, and then we're going to, some of them will join to the domain, things like that. We're automating some of that, and this package would not install. I would get on the box, and I would try to manually install it, and it would not install. It installed like 2 days ago, but today I couldn't even manually install it. Like, what is going on? So let's start browsing the path to the repo, and you click on the file, and it's not there. It's bogus file. So something is going on. I should probably report it. Whoever's managing that, it was updated today. Like the repo was updated today, and somebody broke something. But man, was that annoying. Were you able to figure out why your configs were not taking on Eve? Oh, a couple comments here. Good stuff, mentors. Narvik, CCI Bootcamp, 360 labs are definitely some good labs to challenge you and keep things from getting stale and repetitive. That's what I planned. I'll probably pick up the Narvik workbook, mentors, because I know you can only do I&E labs so many times before you start to lose the benefit. It can actually be detrimental if you do a lab too much, because you get sort of a false sense of security, right? But yeah, I may do like, I was talking to Tony when he was here last, and we were having dinner, that he was talking about the benefit of the 360 assessments, the Cisco Expert Lab assessments. And I will most likely buy a package that has at least 1 or 2 assessments, so that when I think I'm ready, I can take an assessment and it can prove me where I'm not, right? Again, just some ideas, since I did not get my numbers low. Hey man, those are great ideas. And I've heard those same ideas, mentors, from other people who have gotten their CCIE, so they're definitely legit. And I appreciate all your input and all your thoughts on that. But yeah, I finally got that repo. I've figured out, okay, well, I'll just go find another repo that has that package. I'll download it manually and install it manually. And that worked. And then later, all the rest of the Ansible playbook ran right through, and it worked like a charm. So I may have to set up the playbook to do a copy of the file from another location and then manually yum install it to get it to pass, because Ansible will check, like it's state-based. So it'll say, if you put in your playbook, you say, I want this package to be on the hosts, and state must be present. So it's going to error if it's not present, right? So interesting, though. I learned a lot of stuff. It's kind of, when people, it's good from time to time when people who are specialists in a certain area are gone, are away. Or sometimes, people leave. We have had, it's interesting, after the first of the year, it seems, there's always a few announcements of people who are departing. They're going to other opportunities, which is great. But we've had some of that as well. And it's, in a way, it's kind of good, because those areas that you might have been not a specialist in, you're getting an opportunity to sort of step up and, dust off the cobwebs of maybe things you've done in the past and freshen them up again. Good thing we have Dimitri to pick his brain. We get stuck with automation and Ansible. Yes, Dimitri has a lot of experience with that. which is good. I'm telling you, mentors, after 2 days, I'd make a little progress, and I think I got past this hurdle, and then it kept coming back to the same thing. I was almost to the point of reaching out to someone. But yeah, we're making good workbook progress. Plan to continue on that. Before I jump into the lab, actually, let's fire up the Azure Lab. I've got a script now. I love this little script. It just... that's a Python script I wrote to basically every day it takes yesterday's agenda, copies it to a new file. You know, I live off of these agendas, what I'm going to talk about. Otherwise, I'll just ramble and ramble. But it like copies it with a new date and does some other things. But this is just a bash script. If I can find it, here it is. Yeah, and that's going to go out and log me into Azure. And then it's going to start my VM, and then it's going to launch a Chrome page and open up the EVG login page. Same man, AWS search studies are kicking my butt. Definitely new, yet fun to learn new technologies. So true. I want to learn some AWS as well. I don't want to be that person that, oh, I know the cloud, and you just know like Azure, or you just know AWS. Like, I want to know more about both AWS and Google Cloud. And some of the others too at some point. So yeah, that's going to be post CCIE number. we were talking about that in our group, you know, our cloud team, like what search do we want to go after? But yeah, while that's firing up, I want to bring up a quiz that I posted on Instagram yesterday. No one has really gotten it yet. People have come close, and it's based on a packet capture. Well, let me see. Look, I may have accidentally deleted that pcap from the repo, but let me just load it up on Instagram, and we'll throw it out here. See if you all know. I'll put you on the spot a little bit. Again, most of these folks, I probably would not have known, you know, like a day or before I studied it. So it's not like I'm throwing this out like, oh, I know this. I just learned this, so I'm sharing, right? That's the whole motivation here. But anyway, this is a capture. Casadix, take notes, man. Learn automation now while you study for your certs. Keep us old timers on our toes. That's right, Casadix. Keep us on our toes, man. All right, so this is a pcap from this source, 151.46.6, and this destination, a multicast destination. The question here that I had was, this says icmp message, right? What kind of encapsulation is being used here? Ansible, Kubernetes, and Docker. Yeah, buddy. I had to play with Kubernetes. I was helping one of our internal clients last week with some Kubernetes networking, and I was like, whoa, I need to do a quick study on this, see what's going on. It's really cool, though, how Kubernetes does networking. That's the way of the world. That's where it's going. Okay, so notice here we have, so let's peel this out a little bit. Notice you've got icmp, v4, PIM, IPv4, 802.1q, Ethernet, and your frame, right? What I'm interested in is this. What kind of encapsulation is being used here? Generally, we see a protocol under another protocol. We know that that's common, like with GRE route, right? Generic routing encapsulation. That's a very common one. But what kind of encapsulation is happening here? And if you have a clue, just shout it out, right? Now notice now this is what Wireshark thinks, right? But look at the IP source and destination. The IP source is the same, but the IP packet is the destination 150.1.5.5. If you've done INE, then you probably know what this is. This is router 6, this is router 5, right? And that is a loopback of router 5. But this destination here, notice, this is part of an IP packet where the source is 151.146.6, destination 224.20.20.20. This is a multicast destination. But it is obviously encapsulated. So someone actually got really close, if you haven't thought about it yet. Someone said this is PIM over 802.1q. Technically, that is correct. But in a very vague, it's not the right answer. Yes, we do have IPv4 encapsulated inside of 802.1q, inside of an Ethernet frame. There's my pop-up. So my VM has started, and I gave it a sufficient pause, so now I should be able to just log in, and it's going to work. It should be running already. If not, I may need to extend the delay time. So someone else said, I was like, true, but why would icmp be encapsulated in a PIM packet? So I was giving them a hint there. icmp inside of PIM. What feature is in use here? And then someone else had a comment. They said multicast packet encapsulated in VLAN 45. It is VLAN 45, but again, you're getting hotter. This is an icmp packet encapsulated in a multicast protocol. Under what circumstances would this occur? And the answer, the hint here, is to look at the PIM message type. A PIM header is always going to contain the version and the type. It also has a checksum and options. Or reserve bytes, sorry. So here we see this is a register message. And what is a register message? Well, this is when we're running sparse mode, and a PIM router is trying to register with it's trying to find the receivers, right? It knows to send the traffic. It knows to send the traffic to its to its rendezvous point. So in this case, router 6 is a sender. He is sending multicast traffic. And his rendezvous point is 150.1.5.5. Remember, the way that works is the first packet that is sent to the rendezvous point is not necessarily the shortest path to the receiver, right? It may be, but the rendezvous point is going to know where the receivers are. So the way PIM does that is it creates what's called a PIM tunnel to the rendezvous point. And Mentors has a link here. We'll check that out. But icmp protocol. Well, yeah, so the, oh, that's a nice white paper for icmp. Oh, cool, man. It's amazing how much we use icmp. I'm going to check that out. Thanks, sir. So yeah, you've often seen it. If you do in Cisco, you can do show IPPIM tunnel, and you'll see an encapsulation tunnel and a decapsulation tunnel on the RP itself. So it is actually encapsulating traffic. I didn't know until I actually saw this pcap. And that's why you always try to do Wireshark, right? And look on the wire and see what's going on. But the first packet it sends is going to send the data traffic. So this is the payload. This is the multicast traffic that is trying to reach a receiver, which may be all the way on the other end of the network. But the first thing it's going to do is going to communicate with the rendezvous point. And instead of just doing like a sort of handshake or a negotiation with the rendezvous point, it this is an efficient mechanism because it's going to say, okay, I'm going to send traffic to the rendezvous point, and I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate some data traffic. You know, why do one and then later send the payload? Why not do it all at once? So it's kind of a really cool feature. And that's the encapsulation being used here. And I'm going to reply to those folks. So, all right, let's see if our VM is... Interesting. I've had this happen. The VM is undoubtedly running. Or maybe I didn't give it enough time. Let's check it out. Okay, yeah, appears to be running. $7.15. Here, the white paper covers attacks using... Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, the I recently had some discussion about that with the icmp timestamp query message, which is used by icmp jitter, ipsla icmp jitter. It does a timestamp request and timestamp reply. Thing is, though, a lot of routers will block those because of the security vulnerabilities. There are a lot of them. Okay, it looks like it's getting going here. So let's look back at overview. This happened the other day. I had to boot it again. I had to shut it down and then bring it back up. That's weird. I'm not sure why that is. Let's see where it had something to do with like the... I guess that's in Nginx. I'm not sure which web software it's using there. We'll just do a restart. Anyway, that's a little quiz for the day. Now we're going to talk about PIM tunnels. I say PIM tunnels. This is actually multicast tunneling. Last night's stream I saw you copy and paste configs in Eve, yet once you booted up, the configs were not writing. Was this just a bug in Eve? Yeah, what was happening is it was using the exported configs and not the startup configs. And I don't know why that is, mentors. I did not figure that out. Maybe we'll play with that a little bit now. I've had that problem in the past. And as a matter of fact, I was tempted just to pull out the cookbook. Let me grab that now. Okay, here it is. Could not be opened. Maybe damaged. Okay, well, all right, no big deal. I used community and never had the issue. Maybe it was a pro version. Well, this was this pro? I've had, you could be right. I think I've had it on both though. Evening primrose oil. Okay, interesting. Don't know what that is. Yeah, here's a cookbook. That looks like an old one though. I used to download it because it takes a second to download, but trying to remember what I was using yesterday. Was it? Oh, I was using the Pro version. The startup configs object in the sidebar opens the startup configs. Bigger, make bigger. Thank you. So startup for each node. For Pro, it shows the startup configs of the current config set. Right, because you can have multiple config sets. So what was happening is I had startup configs in here. I had it set to on. And when I restarted the lab, it was not using the startup configs. First section 11.3. ePro includes a multi-configuration feature that allows you to save and manage multiple sets in a single lab. Okay, here's... This might be the chart we need right here. Node boot order. Start node. Check non-volatile RAM. Non-volatile RAM persists. Boot from not. If it's wiped, check if node is set. Boot from configuration set. Configuration is set. Boot from config set, which is what I thought I had. Oh, wait a second. Boot from NVRAM. This is what it was doing. So you know what? I think what I have to do is, okay, I got it. I guess the Wi-Fi on your computer could be. All right, so here's the problem. I was skipping this. So what you have to do is wipe the configs first. Got it. Okay, makes sense. Man, that is... I wish I would have looked at that before because I know I've tried to get this to work a couple of times. And it didn't work. We'll prove that out today. We'll make sure. All right, let's see if this lab is operating here yet. Do we get the same IP? I don't know. Yep, I'm not sure why. What I may do then is just boot it, shut it down, boot it again. I can script it out so it doesn't take me any extra time. All right, so today we're going to work on, I'm just going to grab the initial multicast. And we're going to do this at least one lab here. Yeah, see, what I was not doing before is these are all on. I have to wipe all nodes. Yeah, that's the step I was missing. So I was just curious now, I'm being distracted from the PIM lab, had me borrow that. No problem, man. I'm glad you reminded me of it because I would have not looked at that and I would have come across this again, not had faith or confidence that it would work. and I wouldn't have used it, but now I know how it works, so I won't struggle anymore, hopefully. All right, so we got our startup configs, and I don't think I have to do this, but I'm going to do this just for trial and error, how we learn. Why enjoy you? Thanks, man. Yeah, we don't make mistakes here on the Land Tamer stream. We only have happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say. So wipe all nodes guarantees, I think, that I'm going to boot to my startup configs, which is probably not a big deal here because this is. But yeah, I'm glad I saw that chart. Now that's gonna. All right, so we actually, for this lab, we don't need all. Most of the, what I like about it is, in general, in this community edition, it doesn't always boot up the switches, and I'm okay with that. It just boots up these routers, which is cool. I also have these on delay, so it doesn't peg out the CPU. Doesn't really matter too much in Azure, but... so we're going to console to all nodes. Oh yeah, we got a new IP, so we have to allow it. And let's go over the sort of requirements here. Again, folks, disclaimer here, this is not my lab. This is INE workbooks. There's a link down below how to buy their workbook, which is awesome. And I'm just going to sort of paraphrase things because I don't show the lab or the answer key or all the illustrations. I don't show that on stream. So you have to buy the workbook to get that. Well, we want to do sparse mode here. And it's going to be R5 to R10. And R5 will be the rendezvous point. And we're going to do that manual. Oh, it says without configuring multicast routing on transit nodes, ensure R9 can receive feeds from R10. Okay, we can do that. So that means we're going to have a tunnel between R5 and R9. We can't configure any multicast routing on transit nodes, so only routers 5 through 10 can have any IP multicast. Oh, this thing is freaking out. Great deal on INEC says as well as $2.99. You can find coupon codes. Yes. Okay. And we want R9's VLAN 9 to receive traffic for 224.10.10.10. Okay. All right, we should be able to do this without too much fanfare here. So I think I had tried something new on this before, and we don't really care. Well, we do. Okay, good. These interfaces are up. Nice. Yeah, this first thing I need to check is basic connectivity. That's the one thing you need to check when Community Edition. Sometimes the interfaces don't automatically come up. They're administratively down. Well, what I did this time is in the startup configs, I edited them manually and I put no shutdown on the interfaces. That seems to have worked, which is great. Let me see if we can ping R9's Router 9's VLAN 9 interface, which is going to be 151.79.9. We can. Okay. We have reachability there. We should have it from Router 5. Ping 151.79.9, and we can. I'll pull up the drawing just so folks can reference it. At this point, I pretty much have it in my head, but so what we're saying is we can enable PIM here. We're not allowed to enable PIM anywhere else. And we want R9 to be able to work as a receiver and 10 as a sender. So essentially what that means is we have to build a tunnel, right? Because a GRE tunnel, because GRE supports multicast. So we'll be able to join this interface, the tunnel interface. We'll create a tunnel interface between router 5 and router 9. And so what we'll do is, let me move that here. And I think what we'll do, first we got to make sure that we have reachability, then we have PIM configured. So we'll do IP multicast routing. I was trying to find like a cute little quick way to do that. All right, and then we want to turn on the interfaces. So we want interface Jet0158, IP PIM sparse mode, and IP PIM RP address 150.1.5.5. You don't have to enable it on the loopback, but I'm going to. And we also want to have it on the I believe I'm going to put it on the tunnel interface, but I'm going to wait to go ahead and get one thing at a time, right? IP, so interface Jet0158, IP PIM sparse. And then IP PIM RP address interface Jet01.108. So there's the tunnel we're talking about, encapsulation, right? Then router 10, interface Jet01.108, IP PIM sparse. And IP PIM RP address. All right. Now we don't have to put it on the other. Yeah. So we've got it on our 3 routers. That should be good. Now we need a GRE tunnel. So the GRE tunnel. Say tunnel. There might already be tunnel interface here. Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 tunnels. Show run interface T10. I think this is a tunnel over to router 4. It is. So we're going to do a different tunnel. We're going to say interface tunnel 20. IP address. We have to create, we're going to create our own link here. So I'm going to say 151.15. Oh, we can't add any additional. I'm going to have to use some in a subnet that is already being routed via IGP, right? So IP address 151.15.59. It doesn't let me do that. That's okay. In effect, they'll be directly connected. So do IP address 151.59.5. And we'll say IP pim sparse. And then tunnel source will be, what is our interface used to reach router 9? I believe it's going to be, let's see, do show IP route 151.79.0. Known via OSPF. Via tunnel 0. So it's going over the DMVPN tunnel. That's not going to work for me because 155.179.0, distance 110, redistributed icmp, advertised by icmp metric. Last update via tunnel 0. Yeah, is tunnel 0? This is sneaky. Try P route 5179.0. Routing descriptor blocks 15103. Oh, so it's learning it from router 3. Well, I wonder, can we do a tunnel with the next interface as a tunnel? If not, I'll just shut it down, but we'll find out. So interface 20. Tunnel source T0. Oh, interface tunnel 20. Tunnel source T0. Huh, it lets me do that. That's going to be an interesting pcap. Tunnel mode. GREIP. That's the default anyway. Tunnel. Destination. Hold on. Do show run interface T10. Yeah, tunnel destination. 155.1. 1.5.1.79.9. Okay. So now let's go over to router 9. Interface T20. IP address 151.59.9. Tunnel source is going to be GI0179. Tunnel destination will be the tunnel IP address, tunnel 0, 151.15.5. So, ping 151.59.5. It seems like this would create tunnel recursion. And maybe we do need a tunnel key. Does he know this? Oh, I'm using the wrong one, aren't I? Show IP interface brief. I should be using 155.105. Tunnel source. Show interface T20. One last question. Are you doing the lab INE workbook in order? If so, try to do a few labs with you after Foundations this summer lab, buddy. Yeah, man. I am doing them in order. As a matter of fact, so as you can see, I'm just going, you know, all these are checked off. And this is the one I'm on. So yeah, I'll plan on doing them pretty much in straight order. So I would love that. I should source this. Source. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. And I wonder if it's supposed to use initial multicast. Okay. Well, I should put a tunnel key on here. Yeah. So there's no confusion. What do I say? 200. Yeah. Show interface T20. Oh, am I going the right way? Yeah. So I'm just going to disable, well, first of all, I'm going to disable tunnel 0. I may get spanked for doing this, but now it's learning it from tunnel 10. I like them apples. All right, show IP route. Not in the table. I'm not sure, folks. We'd have to look. In our situation, we're not running an IGP on the tunnel, so we must provide static mroute. Oh, use the loopback. Okay, I could see that. I could see that. I don't know if that will make a difference here. We'll see. So it's saying to do interface T20 IP unnumbered loopback 0. So in other words, use loopback 0's IP. This is the INE has a little bit of a rep for kind of sometimes a little extra unnecessary sneakiness, and I'm seeing that here. Tunnel source L0. Tunnel destin. I remember something else like this. Yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily sneakiness that's called for. Anyway. So I'm assuming it'd be the same on the other side. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. IP tunnel source. Tunnel destination. They say that the lab, the actual lab, used to be really sneaky like this, but that it's not really anymore. It's just more about loop chain attempting to stack. Tunnel recursion. Yeah, see, this is, I think this in particular case may go a little above and beyond kind of what you would need for the lab level of sneakiness. Maybe not. I don't know. This should resolve that problem. So router OSPF1, passive interface, tunnel 20. Yeah, this is really like doctored up. I felt the same about INE adding in extra commands, yet in hindsight, feel to help me TS better during the lab exam. Okay. That's reassuring because this seems like really squirrely. And others have commented about that. Okay, let's see here. So we need to join a group, right? Interface Jazz 019, IPIGMP join group. What was it? 224 10 10 10. We also need an mroute here. And IP mroute, really everything. That should help with the RPF check. Now let's make sure we have connectivity. PIM neighbor is up. Okay, good. So We're going to send a router 10 ping 224 10 10 10. Show ipcm neighbor. Okay, that looks right. Yeah, this is kind of janked up. Okay. Show IPM route. Okay, good. He has a star comma G and an S comma G. That's correct. Outgoing interface null. Show IP PIM group. Show IPM route. There's no outgoing interface. And that says there are so many flags. Sometimes it's hard to, yeah, pruned. So why is that? Because router 9. Oh, we have to put the RP address here, don't we? Yep, that's what we're missing. Okay. Because he's acting, router 9 is acting both as a receiver and as a router, PIM router. Show IP PIM interface. Down. Yep, I think that's kind of jacked up. Is the tunnel in sparse mode? Show run interface 220. It is. Let's take the tunnel key out. Interface T20. Well, that's probably helping. Yeah, I have everything configured the way it is in the workbook in the answer key, so I'm not sure. Mentor says, what's fun is trying to understand my weaknesses after you fail the exam. Pass, pass, fail. I get yet TS diad config, get a fail config module. However, what areas? Still bugs me today. I know. And I'm going to be doing a video about that. Like, I'm going to have some feedback on the whole feedback process. Like there's not really, and the report that you get, I don't know about the lab, but at least for the written, man, they might as well not even give you a report. It's pretty much useless. So yeah, for some reason, we're not getting the icmp join. Or the PIM join, I should say. Just double checking my configuration here. Did I enable multicast routing? I believe I did. Yeah, we wouldn't have those routes. Run section router. Yeah, not sure, folks. Everything looks good from here. Yeah, this is a kind of topology that if you came behind someone who built something like this, you'd say, what were they smoking? I mean, obviously there are going to be use cases for this, I'm sure, but man, is it, I would not want to have to troubleshoot this, which I'm going to have to do because I've built it just as every line is in the lab, and it doesn't work. So that means either there's some sort of bug and I have to reboot everything. But it's getting close to quitting time for me, folks. 8 p.m. Thanks so much for hanging out. Had a good time here. Heavy Poison, yes. Oh, we'll be back. I'll be playing with this in the morning. I guarantee you. Repeating it and copying and pasting the configs this time instead of typing them. It could be a typo or something like that, but it's a learning process for sure. That is one thing people use Jerry tunnels for, is because it supports multicast. And it can help you imagine you have a service provider and, you got a cloud here and you have to get this site connected to that site and you got to get multicast traffic over there. Easiest way is probably a Jerry tunnel. So yeah, I can see it happening, but to have a tunnel on an interface where you have another tunnel and you're learning your route to get to that site is over that other dynamic tunnel. I think you're asking for you might be asking for trouble with that, but anyway, we won't judge. We'll just take it as a notch on our belt and play with it some more. Labs are definitely addictive, my man. Enjoy the journey. Have fun indeed. Definitely worth it. Just think we'll be one of the few proud CCIEs. Hoorah. Yes, sir. And thanks so much for hanging out tonight, folks. I may get out another video tomorrow in the series of how to pass CCI written, and I hope to do it on the evolving technologies. So it'll be a brief video, but I hope to get that out tomorrow. So be looking for that either tomorrow or Friday. Thanks so much for hanging out, folks, and we shall see you tomorrow, same time, here in the Land Tamer stream. Have a good night.